Hey, thanks for taking a moment here to check out the video. Uh, we're going to be doing another episode of Tournament Talk, where I will be breaking down stop number 4 for the Phoenix Bass Fishing League Ozark Division, which was up on Table Rock Lake on May 6th. It was a really rough tournament for me. Some guys really found the fish, and I couldn't get into anything solid. So let's talk about it. We launched out of Kimberly Port Marina. We were supposed to launch at 6, but we got bumped to a late launch due to another tournament that was launching from the other side of the marina. So they postponed us until 6:30. I was boat number 134, which had me on flight number 5. So we actually didn't leave the marina until about 6:50. It was a pretty warm morning, about 60 degrees. It was cloudy and drizzling rain. Had a wind about 10 miles an hour or so coming out of the south. But overall, it was a pretty nice morning. Not too cold. So we took off out of there, and my boater and I had talked. His name was Wes, really good guy. Had a nice nitro. Thanks for toting me around all day. And we had both discussed our strategy the morning or the night before and decided we were going to start on the main lake points and then work our way in from there. The water was still about 60 degrees. It's been fluctuating a lot at Table Rock as far as temperature goes this spring, with the weather has just kind of held things really, really late. But we had a full moon on that Friday night, which was the 5th. So we wanted to position ourselves in an area where we might be able to catch fish coming in that were late to the spawn and catch fish that were coming back out. So we got to our first spot. It was about 7:30, and I went to working a drop shot. I was throwing a RoboWorm red crawler color, just like I'd previously used on Table Rock when I won it a couple weeks ago, and managed to pick up a short fish pretty quick. It was a little spotted bass, and then caught 2 more shorts on that spot. My boater caught 2 short fish or 3 short fish. Lost a good sized keeper that hit a topwater bait. Just didn't get a good hookup. Um, and then we started kind of hitting some other stuff. The fish were not set up the way that we thought that they were. Apparently, there was a shad spawn that was going on that morning that we missed. Some of the guys that ran way up the James River, they encountered it. And that really is where a lot of the bigger fish came from. Where we were at, that just didn't happen. The other thing is that up in a place called Ants Creek, which is up the James, so it's up here, and we're launching from down here. Sorry. Um, there were some fish that were on beds, I guess, from reports that we were hearing after the tournament. I talked to one guy who got about 11 pounds flipping beds, and said that there were a lot of fish on beds up in that Ants Creek area. Where we were at down on the main lake and such, there really wasn't much going on. So at about 1 o'clock, we decided that we were going to head up in towards Ants Creek. My boater knew some places that he wanted to go try. I had not picked up a single fish on a slow moving bait at all. I hadn't had a bite. Caught some short fish on a swim bait and such. I ended up with, I caught 5 total bass, one of which was a keeper for 1 pound, 13 ounces. I caught a red ear sunfish, and I caught a Google Eye, which is kind of like a hybrid between, oh, I don't know, some type of sunfish and a smallmouth. They got huge eyeballs. I posted some pictures on my Facebook. I'd never caught one before. They're really unique fish. It was kind of cool. But after that long run up the James, we started fishing some docks, and I lost a really, really key fish. I estimate he was probably 4 or 5 pounds. I was throwing a wacky rig up under a dock, and then I had a fish jump off on a swim bait that was another keeper. So I think I probably could have come to the scales with 2, 4, maybe 9 pounds or so, which would have probably had me in the top 10. I'd have to go back and look at it. As far as weights go, the boater that won it was Brian Halsey, and he had 5 fish for 17-13. And then the big bass for the boater side was Anthony Johnson at 5 pounds 11 ounces. Now on the co-angler side of things, Ryan Betchert, he weighed in 5 fish for 16 pounds and also had the big bass at 4 pounds 10 ounces. So some pretty heavy weights on the co side of things. I would have had my work cut out for me in this one for sure had I been able to figure out the fish. But that was just it. You know, it seemed like everywhere that we went, we were just off a little bit, found a lot of bluegill spawning, and I tried to locate bass within those bluegill and just couldn't pick up a fish. Now the late decision to run up the James paid off for my boater. He ended up getting 3 fish in the boat. In the last like 15 minutes that we were able to fish, we had to be back at 3:30 and had about a 20-minute run. So at about 3 o'clock, he started catching some fish on swim baits. And that helped him balance out a pretty good limit. But I think we just stayed too long on that first spot and really didn't commit to going and looking in the backs of the coves. We had made the assumption that the fish weren't in the backs and that they were going to be out towards the mouths of the creeks and stuff. And when that didn't pay off in that first hour and a half, we should have abandoned that plan and ran to the back and started, checking for bedding fish or running up the river. Water was basically the same as it was, about same temp, same clarity, maybe a little bit clearer, but the fish had changed a lot. They were not nearly in the same places that they were previous here. They weren't nearly as aggressive. I know some guys. I heard everything from guys catching them on spinner baits to guys catching them on shaky heads, basically dead sticked on the bottom without moving them at all. Just really depending on where you're at on the lake. So overall, I finished 93rd. Not a very good finish. And although I don't need to worry about points because I'm already qualified for regionals with the win I had at Table Rock 3 weeks ago, I think I'm currently sitting in 47th. So not too bad. Without the regional win, I would need to be in the top 45 in order to go, without the win, I would need to be in the top 45 to go to regionals. But that doesn't apply with the win. So looking to still try to get in that top 45 just for the sake of doing it, so I know that I can do it. Next tournament I got is going to be June 10th. It's going to be stock number 4, the Okie Division down on Fort Gibson. So I'm anticipating summertime transitional patterns. Fish will probably be moving out. I will be prepared to fish beds, so I'm not going to get stuck like that again. Learned a lot on this tournament, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that forward at the next one. We'll see how we do. I'm currently ranked 23rd in the Oklahoma division, so feeling good about that, and we'll see where we go. So again, please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd really appreciate it. From my understanding, most people who watch videos don't subscribe. I'm working on producing more content, but you're not going to be getting a ton of notifications from me about new videos. I do plan on starting a beginner series, taking a step way back as I realize that there are a lot of people that are just starting into bass fishing or maybe don't know what they need to do, or they're intimidated because they think they need to do too much. So I'm going to go back and start a series breaking down the basics and guiding people through, what basics they need to be worried about or concerned about, what they need to put in their tackle box, so to speak. So that'll all be forthcoming, but in the meantime, keep up with me here. I will be posting a pre-tournament video for the next tournament. I didn't on this one just because the conditions were so much the same and my plan was basically the same. So that did not work. So we'll not be doing that again for the next tournament down on Gibson. All right, guys, find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram. If you got questions for me, drop a comment. Otherwise, stay tuned. I'll have more stuff coming at you. Right on. Keep fishing, friends.